Hey, what's up, everybody? I just saw that the Pokemon Company has a bunch of information about some of the new Pokemon that are coming, or the Galarian forms that are coming through the Crown Tundra with like the abilities and some new special moves that are coming. So I wanted to take a look at and go through it. So as we saw Galarian Slowking in the trailer this morning, it has a new ability called Curious Medicine, which is pretty cool. As when it swaps in, it like deletes all the ally stat changes. So like if you're facing off against some Dynamax mon and maybe it's targeted two of your other mons in before, and like let's say your Absol was in there and it had like two stat drops, when Galarian Slowking comes in, it negates that completely, which is pretty interesting. Or if someone has Intimidate, you can switch Galarian Slowking in and your mon will immediately lose that. It doesn't really say. I mean, it says all stat change or ally stat changes are reset. So I think you can assume that like any of your buffs would get reset too. So that's obviously something to be considerate of. But I do think that it can be pretty useful, especially with when Dynamax is part of the meta, or not part of the meta, but just there. And then it also has a signature move called Eerie Spell, which is a psychic type move, and it deals a bunch of damage apparently, but it also means Pokemon lose 3 PP from the last move that they used, the opponent's Pokemon. So if you're facing off against someone who's been like blizzarding or something, which only has 5 PP if you don't add any like PP ups or PP max, then you can like completely negate that altogether, and that can be super useful. The next one we can look at here is calirax. They don't really give us anything new, I don't think. It has Unnerve. Yeah, nothing new here. But then Galarian Articuno has competitive, which if you've seen any of my games that I've played with Milotic, competitive has been super useful because again, when Dynamax moves are used and your allies get lower stat changes, that competitive boost kicks in and your special attack raises sharply, which is by 2. And its signature move is Freezing Glare, and it's a psychic type move, special type move, and it may also leave the target frozen, so that's interesting. I wonder, did it say what its typing is going to be? Psychic Flying, so it loses its ice type. Interesting. That's an interesting move too, though. I wonder what the percentage of it being frozen is. Maybe like 10 to 30, probably somewhere in there. And then we also have the Gigantamax Melmetal, which was announced, which will have Iron Fist, which will power up punching type moves. Let's see what its G-Max move does. Ooh, so it prevents opponents from using the same move consecutively. That's pretty interesting. I don't know how viable it is. Maybe if you have like 2 steel types, you can use it on a fire type mon, and you can't use that fire type move anymore, but I don't know how useful that'll be. Ooh, and then Galarian Zapdos is fighting and flying with Defiant. That'll be interesting. So does that mean it's probably a physical attacker now? Thunderous Kick, fighting type physical move, and lowers the target's defense stat. That is interesting. And that could be pretty useful and pretty cool too. And again, you use that against a competitive mon, and their special attack will double. Galarian Moltres, Dark Flying. Ooh, so it loses that quad weakness to rock, with Berserk as its ability. And it moves Fiery Wrath, Dark type special move, may flinch the opponent. So it's kind of like Dark Pulse. I don't know how that's right. Yeah, it's basically Dark Pulse, I guess. So I guess that's not too amazing. Regieleki, Transistor as the ability. I don't think it doesn't explain what that is, but it does have a signature move called Thunder Cage. And it traps the opponent in a cage of lightning. And deals damage every 4 to 5 turns and prevents them from being swapped out. I mean, so that's pretty interesting. Could be used with like Perish Trap teams with any of these like trapping moves is always an option. That's interesting. 4 or 5 turns, that's a lot. wonder if these will be like VGC legal, because you depending on like this Pokemon's speed tier, I'm assuming electric type mons are usually fast, but this is like really fast. So you use that first turn and your opponent's 2 mons that are in are stuck in there for 4 to 5 turns. And then we got finally Regidrago with another new ability that we don't know about, Dragon's Maw. But like the fossil Charizard, basically the Regi Charizard. Sorry, it's what I should be calling it. And its signature was Dragon's Energy. And it's basically, this is like Water Spout but Dragon type. So like the more HP that Regidrago has, the higher the move's power. So I'm guessing that it's like a 150 base power move and a special Dragon type move. And then once it gets lowered, the power gets lower. But yeah, these were all the things that they released today from Galarian Slowking, the Regis and Galarian Birds, and Calirax. I think obviously was already there, but yeah. So like, out of all of them, definitely pretty stoked about Galarian Slowking. I think the design looks really cool. The ability looks really cool too, as well as the move. Losing 3 PP that's a ton, and I think that's really awesome. Everything else, pretty good. I'd say the best bird probably will be this Galarian Articuno. I just really like competitive. I think you can find really cool ways of using it too. The Gigantamax Melmetal, I've never been like so stoked on Melmetal's design, but it's there. Galarian Zapdos could be interesting, and then Moltres. You know what? Let's look up what. I don't know what Berserk does actually. Let's see. Interesting. Okay, so every time your HP drops below half, special attack is raised. Okay, that's interesting. If you use it with the Citrus Berry, then you can like get 2 raises within 1 life kind of thing. That is interesting. And then maybe you have like an Amon with like Trick or something. You can trick another berry onto it maybe. I don't know. But like the move didn't seem that interesting. Fiery Wrath. Fire like Aura, yeah, and it may make them flinch. Like, how is that? Am I just wrong that Dark Pulse doesn't flinch? Maybe there's just a higher flinch chance. Yeah, 20% chance to flinch. So I mean, to make this viable, it definitely has to be more than 20%. Otherwise, why wouldn't you just run Dark Pulse? I guess maybe it's stronger. Dark Pulse is only what, base 80? Maybe this is base 90 or 100. I don't think I can see. Maybe it could be 100, but still. Defiant's pretty cool in that. But yeah, I think we'll wrap up the video there. Stoked about Galarian Slowking, and can't wait to like start getting into these on October 22nd when the DLC drops. Thanks for watching.